I'm going to have quick broadcast. So I'm actually broadcasting now out onto Periscope. So everybody wave. Yeah, wave. Prove that you're alive, and the rest of the world are actually going to see this in about 30 seconds. I'm not going to be broadcasting this for very long, so no embarrassment. So for the benefit of those that are actually wondering, what on earth is OU Cisco doing? I'm actually about to do a presentation on Periscope versus Facebook Live. So that I'm starting to get some hearts and some likes, and I'm going to stop broadcasting because I can't do two things at once. I'm a humble male. Okay? So hi, I'm Andrew Smith from the Open University. You'd think as a distance learning university, we've completely and successfully embraced social media and its ability to teach people, wouldn't you? Anyway, so we're still experimenting with it, and we're still learning about it, and we're still getting it wrong, and sometimes we're getting it right. So I teach network engineers. I teach people how to build little things like the internet. And I have lots of students learning this technology. And over the years, I've been using social media automation and other technologies to do that, as well as my normal traditional distance learning and face-to-face experiences. About 18 months ago, Periscope appeared. Any of you played with Periscope? Some shows of hands. Good. Okay. So, and then earlier this year, Facebook Live appeared. How many of you played with Facebook Live? A smaller set of hands has now appeared. That's fine. This is normal. Okay. So, Periscope, live streaming technology. There was actually a live streaming platform around for some considerable time, and YouTube works as a live streaming platform as well. But suddenly, individuals were enabled by the power of the shiny device in their pockets. How many of you have got a shiny device? Yeah? Well, any of you got an Android device? Yeah, it's whatever technology you've got in your pocket, you suddenly became a broadcaster. You could broadcast anything inane or something sublime. Yeah, some quite important things were broadcast. Periscope got there first. Twitter immediately bought them. Okay, great. It worked really well. Obviously, not to be outdone, Facebook joined the party later on. And I've been using both platforms and both experiences, and yeah, for me it's about exploring which one has actually worked better, but also how I can get the best audience participation. So I've done quite a few presentations on my social media automation. I've done it at Aut. I use Facebook, I use LinkedIn, I use Twitter. I do also use Google+, but any of you use Google+? And have you noticed the tumbleweed on Google+? Yes. But I still use it because I've got an RSS automator, and it gives me search engine optimization results. But it doesn't help me with my social media community at all. But the beauty is I've got 400 students. That's a typical cohort at the Open University. We've got some modules that have got 50, we've got some modules that have got 2,000. So I've got a nice comfortable cohort of 400. Yeah, I've got across these three platforms 2,100 participants from somewhere. Some of them are alumni, and some of them are interested geeks that are interested in Cisco networking and engage in my community. So that's worked really well. I'm on my third year of doing that, and I actually have a strong interaction. I have a strong community. So the gentleman that was speaking before, I completely agree with him, even though he's focused on Twitter. It does work. It gets your community of students engaging with a wider community of practice. I just chose all three platforms because it costs me no more to do it on Twitter than it does to aggregate it out onto all other platforms simultaneously using tools like Hootsuite. But that's not what this presentation is about. This presentation is about me using Blackadder when I can. Any of you Blackadder fans? Yay, right, this is going to be a good presentation. We're going to have a cunning plan. Okay, the cunning plan, well actually it was cunning plan A, and not so much Blackadder, but it was still a cunning plan. The cunning plan was, I'm going to use a mobile phone to broadcast something techie. Okay, so I teach network engineers, and network engineers like command prompt stuff. We are stuck in the 1970s. Okay, we still use a lot of command prompt technology. Cisco network engineers are there like Mr. Robot or Neo from the Matrix typing away. It keeps us happy, it keeps us off the streets. That's what we do. But we actually have to learn lots of stuff doing it. There's a lot of commands we've got to learn and a lot of technologies. So I strapped up my technology, set it all up from the comfort of my own dungeon, and then I was going to show them something specific and clever and relevant in less than 10 minutes. Why 10 minutes?
Attention span.
Yeah, attention span of a mortally wounded amoeba, okay? Most people on social media will disconnect after 3.5 to 4 minutes, okay? So I had to get it across probably within the first 4 minutes, but then just expand on the subject in the amount of time. People won't pay attention any longer, especially if it's appearing in their timeline. You try and teach, so you all are educators or involved in education, try and teach something in less than 10 minutes. Hard. It's actually very difficult because you've got so much, but it was I had to practice, and it was just a show tell, and it had to be one clever, relevant thing in my field around network engineering. Yeah. So I ran a series of micro teaching sessions on live streaming, first on Periscope. So last year at this conference, I presented here on how I used Periscope, and it worked. And we got good community engagement. And I was having anything from 40 to 120 viewers per slot. And any of you know anything about network engineering? No? Okay, there's blah, blah, blah. Okay, but this is useful blah, blah, blah. Okay, in my field, these are important basic subjects, important supplementary subjects. Yeah, this is beginning of how to run something simple like the internet. Okay, but it was all short, succinct topics based around this topology, this network structure. So I would be there with my phone, using my clamp, a little bit of screen wobble, and it'd be, pointed in front of the screen, and I will tell them clever stuff. And I will get audience engagement. And Periscope worked quite well, except for one problem with Periscope historically. What was the problem with Periscope? Anybody know?
Is it that it's only sort of temporary?
It is. Originally, it was only there for 24 hours and then disappeared. They stopped that when Facebook Live came along. Yeah? So as I say, it isn't a grudge match, is it? But it is, so I would pre-tweet, I would let people know this is the event, this is what, is going on. I'd tweet at least a couple of days in advance, tomorrow at this time, and then an hour ahead, in an hour and in 5 minutes, and 5 minutes. And I'd plan those tweets. I'd run out, give a subject. I did it weekly, so I have my mini Monday networking, and I even ran it over a whole week. Where it's like Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and they work very well. And I would find that I got good, it's good participation. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It worked well, and I could record the sessions and keep the sessions, and if I wanted, I could put them on YouTube and stuff like that. But there was a little bit of, you had to do it manually. And even though now Periscope is integrated into your Twitter app, it still has a relatively short persistence. Because there is another problem with Twitter. What's the biggest problem with Twitter? It just disappeared. I mean, as soon as you tweet something, it's gone into the ether, hasn't it? Even if you're following the hashtag for this conference, it's gone into the ether within a half an hour. And sometimes that makes it very difficult when you're trying to create a followership in the Twitter space. Okay, it works, it gets impressive reach, but when you're trying to create that persistence and you want people to come back to something clever you've said, clever thing is gone very quickly. Okay, that's the pro and the con of Twitter immediately. You've got a reach, but it does disappear, and you're in amongst a lot of noise. There's a lot of white noise going on. So I did the same with Facebook Live. Facebook Live came out earlier this year. Again, it works on your phone. You can actually do it from your pages, and your groups, as well as your own personal profile. And that's quite useful. So a page, you've created that community. A group, you've created that community. So you can be quite specific to a closed community or an open community or all your friends. And I actually find it worked quite well. Use exactly the same topics, but the persistence increased immediately. I could have anything from 59 to 191 live viewers. Why is that? Sorry, this is a never asked the audience question. I do Q&A during my session. Why do you think that is? Yeah, spot on. Yeah, okay. It's not insulting. My mum's got Facebook. Even my mum was watching some of these. She didn't understand it, and she told me that. And I'm not being patronising to my mum. It's just my mum's got Facebook, and so probably as your parents as well. There is a different audience and community participation in Facebook. There is a wider audience demographic, and there is a more engagement. People are more engaged with it. I can't give you the sort of scientific or psychological terms for it, but I'm getting there. And the other beauty of it is I do the video live. I did all the pre-announcing. I created events and stuff like that. But I got more video watches afterwards, which did not happen with Periscope, even when it went to persistent forever. Again, why is that? It is. You've got a page, you've got somewhere for people to go to. You've already created, curated and managed that community. And Facebook will automatically upload it for you and put it there. And then you can go and tag it if you wish afterwards. So I've got this auto-curation content management system based around Facebook Live. By this time, I was quite a happy chappy. Yeah? So Periscope worked quite well. Yeah, okay. Facebook Live, I was doing exactly the same thing, even though it was in that nasty square box, yeah, not the full landscape, but I was getting better audience participation. All it meant is, with my phone, I just had to do it a bit closer and just organise my screen accordingly. And what I decided was I'd bring things into shot rather than moving the camera around. After all, I was broadcasting my desktop. So, I mean, I've seen people do live streaming of events like this on Facebook Live. That's great. But because I was teaching singular techie thing, it was about broadcasting from my screen. And because we got the videos could be stored, the ones I liked, I put in prominent place. I also started reposting them because they're now persistent. So that follow-up per video goes on forever on Facebook. So you have that synchronous participation, it's live, and then you have that asynchronous participation where it's now recorded, isn't it? So it doesn't stop you doing it again and again and again, but in distance learning as well as face-to-face learning, you have an audience that isn't always able to engage real time at the time, and that enabled me to go out there and reach the other people. So, plan B. It's great, I've got a colleague from the library here, because I'm actually giving, a colleague, one of these conversations, any of you use Yammer corporately? Yeah, our university uses Yammer. I call it the corporate shouty place. Okay, you know, what they've done is they've moved the ranty stuff from Twitter straight into a corporate, yeah, you're nodding now, because you've seen some of the posts, haven't you? Okay, but there are some very sensible conversations as well. And you can broadcast your desktop. You can actually broadcast anything live straight to Facebook Live. They've only brought it out in the last 6 to 8 weeks. And on my laptop, I have Open Broadcast Studio. Any of you use Open Broadcast Studio? One of you. Okay, free broadcasting software available on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Okay, so no platform problems there. And all you do is you then set up a Facebook Live session on Facebook, and it gives you a stream key. and you drag that stream key straight into Open Broadcast Studio, and it took me 10 minutes from the, oh, you can do this, to me broadcasting my desktop live. And you can plug in cameras, so I was plugging in different cameras, and you can actually connect to gaming, to smartphones, to other live streams as well. So there's people that are using this already to demonstrate Minecraft on Xboxes, okay? It's not my thing, but people are into that. So you can now actually, so all I did was do my clever networking thing, but now on a nice, tidy, managed desktop, set up the scene, set up the windows, set up the graphics, start Open Broadcast Studio, obtain stream key, and Bob's your auntie. We were straight off, and I was doing techie talk stuff, and I was having different cameras sort of in different positions, and you can actually create scenes and transitions as well, so you can move from different setup to different setup during your broadcasting, and it enjoys the same persistence. You can actually run an up to 90-minute session using Facebook Live. And it will record it for you. 90 minutes is, 120 minutes too long for me. But basically what I think Facebook are intending to do is they're basically now hosting themselves as a television channel. Yeah, they're actually got to that stage already. They're competing with the YouTubes and others of the world. And you can, you could link it to so you can link it to a series, and you know how to create Facebook events. So I'm creating Facebook events now, saying this event in this group, and I can still tweet and point to that. So I can link it all to Twitter, I can link it to LinkedIn or whatever platforms your community uses. But if you have an open Facebook page, anybody can join and like it. And if anybody can like it, they can see it. And they can either watch it live. Again, all of you have got smartphones, yes? Pretty much, I assume most people have got smartphones now. So most people have invested in at least 200 quid worth of technology in their pocket that I can stream to. I've had to pay nothing for this. Okay, I had to have the laptop to do it on, but most of us have got the technology anyway. The software provided by Open Broadcast Studio is free, and the software provided by Facebook is also cunningly free. So with that now, I could create an entire content-driven system. In fact, I'm actually working on a large community training project that's going to start in February, and we plan to use another Facebook page where rather than using WebEx or GoToMeeting or Blackboard Collaborate or anything like that, because most of those won't get past school firewalls. Any of you ever tried working with schools? Yeah, their IT is a nightmare to get past most of the time. But of course, most teachers have got mobile phones, so they can get the connection via their Facebook page, if they're allowed Facebook, or their smartphone. So I found a clever way of getting past every techie problem on the planet by saying, teachers, just use your smart shiny thing or watch it afterwards if you really cannot do it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm solving some technological overheads already because it's all embedded. You do not need to install any clever software to actually access any of this. And they can interact via Facebook chat. Normal chat, it goes below a Facebook post, interact with a live session of Facebook Live, and anybody who wants to comment afterwards still can do so. They can still like, heart or hate whatever you do. Doesn't matter really, does it? I don't care if they hate it. If they do hate it, maybe they're in the wrong group. Maybe they shouldn't be network engineers after all. But the point is now, actually getting it out there is quite straightforward. So in a so what thing, my thoughts and conclusions are Facebook has won. They've already beaten Twitter into a corner in less time. Twitter were the groundbreakers, they were the innovators, and they did a great thing in acquiring Periscope. But the platform affordances of Facebook Live, my view is now, I am going to do this whole community training once a week with a large community of teachers because that platform solves a problem for me. 2 is I am going to start doing a series of short managed courses, micro teaching sessions around my topics in network engineering, because I know that will extend my teaching. My students can get it, cool, if they want to, but also my peripheral community, that observers and lurkers can get it as well. And of course that enables me to promote my courses at the Open University. It enables me to promote my course. Now I'm saying to all of you, of course you will do the same for whatever subjects you teach as well. And I think, obviously, I've got desktop broadcasting, but I do not think it will be particularly difficult to get that camera rig strapped to my laptop and do that very quickly using Facebook Live. So it's not rocket science anymore. Years ago, you used to have really clever video capture cards and stuff like that. Now you just got to wang the USB in and it detects it straight away. Or you can treat a webcam, or I think you can even capture some of those independent cams that you can now get. So it's moving on, and it's moving on rapidly. And I think in all the subjects that we reach out to within this room, you could probably do full teaching or micro teaching of almost anything, whether it's desktop based for geeks like me, or whether it's camera based, or a mixture of both. And as I say, deadly easy to set up audience participation. And basically in Facebook, you can set it up around events, or you can just go live immediately if you want. Though I think setting up an event, you get people then say, oh, I'm going to go and join that, or they are just, because have you ever noticed any of you said you're attending an event and then it appears in your calendar within your smartphone or your computer? So it's all interlinking now. So you're even creating reminders will come to people saying, oh, you must now click on this to go to that event to see that video, that clever thing that Andrew's doing about networking. So what next for me? Well, I'm going to stop saying wibble. Okay, you know that sketch? Blackadder fans, I think that's very important. When you've got a cunning plan, if you can't get out of it, you've got to stick 2 pencils up your nose and say wibble. But I'm going to create a series of reusable videos, and I'm going to keep adding over time. I am going to build up content. As an academic, I am a busy person, but I can give short amounts of time to doing one clever thing at a time. But of course, if I'm doing lots of short clever things over an elongated period and keep coming back and doing more, I'm actually building up a whole content base that I can leak and distribute and share and reuse across the internet. Because it doesn't matter if it's on Facebook. I can tweet about it. I can link to it in my LinkedIn groups. God forbid, I might even put it on Google+. One day, it may even catch on. And I've noticed with people talking about WhatsApp and WeChat and other platforms, all you got to do is share the link. You can even shorten the link. You can make the link available so it goes from platform to platform to platform. But Facebook is offering me the hosting opportunities at the special price tag of free, which I really like. Well, most of you should as well. So, I've won my bet. I've got Blackadder into this. Okay? Do you have any questions? And I've done quite well, actually. I've got 9 minutes to go before it's coffee time. Sure.
It's just a bit of a technical question. Can you stop comments on the Facebook?
I haven't looked to try to do that, to be honest.
So I know Periscope's very easy to allow comments from the people that follow you or follow that channel.
I must admit I haven't tried to stop that, so
no.
I don't know the answer.
Okay, a follow-up question with that then. Are you concerned about any negative comments that might come via Facebook or Periscope?
As you probably detected, I'm a bit of a robust character, and you'd really have to try hard to wind me up. And B, the subject of network engineering doesn't elicit the same emotion. People don't get particularly passionate about it. They'll get quite nerdy about it and shake shake their anoraks at you over some minor detail to do with a packet flag or something. But the commenting tends to be quite banal, or likes or ask valid techie questions. So I mean, I do a lot of work with social media many years. And sorry, your question is a standard question, and in 4 years of being very active in this space, I've had 2 people say something slightly narky. Yeah, so I must try harder to upset people. But it says, so on other subjects, which are more emotive, so if you were doing this on mental health, you're going to get some real idiots. I'm sorry, but just the nature of the vulnerability. On network engineering, no, we're boring anyway. We try hard to be boring.
I just googled it. Yes, you can now block comments.
Okay.
Thank you. 4 hours now, apparently as well.
Yeah. Fine.
And it's and that's the wonder and the danger of these platforms. They're constantly evolving. Facebook, the thing about Facebook is they can change it without you noticing how it's changed, and the features keep being added. So the video I looked at, the guide I looked at to do the stream key, they'd already moved it to a different place, but it didn't take much. It's there then, click, and off you went. So I'm still learning on the fly, but it was once somebody told me it's there, it really wasn't rocket science to get it going. Installed Open Broadcast Studio, oh look, there's an option for Facebook Live there, so it sets up the wizard and says put key here, and Facebook Live says, oh look, here's the key you need. You put it in and then it will appear, and it says, and that's the bit probably where you can set up all the settings. So I do recommend create a page, play about with it, try it, even if you're your only follower and you're on the other computer watching it. I mean, in the world of the internet, being Billy or Wilhelmina no-mates for a little while just to try things out, and that's what I did. I just, and other screen, oh really? And I was like, it's only 30 seconds latency. So it's never truly live. But it's live enough that, and the questions come through. If you design your delivery appropriately, you pause to take the questions that will come through, if that is right. Here, I am just doing a didactic. This is a clever thing I'm showing you.
Thank you very much. Give me a round of applause. So next, there's refreshments again.